just as guilty for pumping them up to do it. I know there's going to be a lot of talk about what happened, but I'm going to talk about what myself as a former indie worker am most upset about was the fact that the referee didn't try to stop it. There was a guy in the ring, instead of trying to stop, he grabbed him for a second and took out front of him like a coward. You probably had 20 or 30 guys in that locker room that could have stormed the ring and tried to stop it. As far as I'm concerned, those guys lack the testicular fortitude to even call themselves professional wrestlers at this point. I could use a lot of profane words. I'm very upset about it. But in this regard, business wasn't conducted right. And I'm going to just say it like that because I know these guys got a lot of opinions on it. But I think every single one of those guys in that locker room probably shouldn't be booked ever again. Because if that's the way you are going to protect your fellow worker, then you don't need to be in the ring.
There is a ripple effect after this incident that has affected the entire organization that Rikishi is a part of. WWE Hall of Famer, father of the Usos, one of the all-time legends. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Q, what's your opinion on this? Like Shawn's perspective is that of a worker, you know, but there is a line, in my opinion, and it was more than crossed. It was obliterated, you know. As a fan, and you're seeing this, and after getting more information of what led up to this attack, and that's what it was. What's your opinion on this?
I agree 100% with everything Shawn said, and to add to it, the people that were on that kick stream, that were sitting there egging this man on and saying, you know what, you know, just kind of pumping him up, and you know, they should be liable too. I mean, I know you can't go and catch everybody that's, you know, that said something, but they should all be ashamed of themselves. Like what we saw out of Rajah Jackson, and people calling this guy a kid. This guy is 25 years old.
Right.
This is a grown man. I don't care if he had a concussion prior, because they even brought that up. Like he had a concussion prior, and all of this stuff was premeditated. He said what he was going to say. The whole kick stream is out there. It's on the internet. I mean, he need to be charged. He need to be charged. Knox Pro Wrestling is pretty much done at this point. You had a lot of students that walked out. You had a lot of people that didn't help, that should never, just like you said, that should never be booked again. And I mean, Rajah should have some serious charges coming towards him.
And we do understand that the police are investigating this. Lawyers are now involved. Obviously, Brian, you are an MMA fan. You know who Quentin Jackson is. That was one of the things that he said when he made a public statement on this, was his son had suffered a concussion, may not have had all of his faculties about what was going on. From your perspective as an MMA fan and a pro wrestling fan, how did you feel when you saw all this unfold?
I mean, it's disgusting, just plain disgusting. Just as a person to see it, like you don't even have to be a fan of anything to realize that's a brutal attack. It reminds me of just a couple weeks ago, we seen that group attack on those couple people where they were kicking and stomping them. I trained MMA, and I was a fan of Quentin way back when he was in Pride, and I know Rajah trains MMA into MMA. You know the damage that you cause striking a person while they're already unconscious. When we're training MMA, like, you know that the minute that someone goes unconscious, when you're choking them, if you hold that choke longer than 30 seconds, that's when brain damage kicks in. 30 seconds can go quick. You have to be careful and make sure taking care of the other person.
Absolutely.
He knows what he was doing in there. Like, that's not just some random person. He knew what was going on. Like, I hate to see a young man, 25, I won't call him a kid, he's a young man, has his life in front of him, get charged for attempted murder, but there's no way around that. Like, it's premeditated. They have the whole stream thing. Like, it's unfortunate, but that boy just threw his life away.
He did. It's. I try to look at it from a few different avenues here. I was a promoter. I was a worker. I'm a fan. You know, I'm trying to look at it from all aspects here. I have read these different personalities, these different indie workers, mainstream workers. Mark Henry come out. What's that?
I don't want to interrupt you too much, but this is the one thing I want to ask. As a promoter, and like from what I see on WWE and all these other ones, and we've seen people run into the ring, why don't they have security ringside, like right there? Like, you have the ring announcers. Why couldn't you have security right there? They have like, at least WWE, we know, has the money to pay a security officer to be there. Like you said about those pro wrestlers running back. Yeah, but man, that guy is a trained fighter. And it only takes, he could hit a guy with one shot, and you fall and hit the ground, and you could die.
Right.
Because if you knock a guy out and they hit their head on the wrong, because once you start training MMA, it's the last thing you ever want to do is fight somebody.
Right.
Because you know the dangers of hitting somebody and what can happen. Why don't they have security?
That is going to lead into my point with the ripple effect with Knox Pro, because Knox Pro Wrestling was part of the WWE ID program because of the affiliation with Rikishi. That is off the table now. WWE has severed ties with this organization, has severed ties with Rikishi. It's, as a promoter, I look at this like, this is the absolute worst thing that could happen. Your business is done. You might as well just fold up, because you're not going to recover from this. Thankfully, Stuart Smith, who is a U.S. military veteran, who got into wrestling to help deal with his, the stresses that he has dealt with coming out of his service. He got into wrestling for the love of the game. And look, I'm not taking anything away from the fact that some BS went on backstage with the empty can and things like this. And I understand, it fired up Rajah Jackson. But the ends does not justify the means here. Okay, it was an empty can. This is 3/4 of the way full. If I was to throw this at Shawn, he's going to feel it. But if this thing was empty and I threw it at him, he's going to feel it too, but not nearly as hard as if it was full. My problem with all of this is people who are trying to defend this. Now, Rampage, I understand, he is trying to find that delicate line in the sand. It's his kid, and I get that.
He's very apologetic
He
throughout
is.
his talks. He's trying to defend his son, but also be apologetic. And as a parent, we all know that that's exactly what you're going to do.
Right. But then you get guys like Mark Henry, who is world-renowned, Hall of Famer, that everybody knows who he is. He is on the Jackson side of this thing. And I don't understand how anybody can justify this. If some crap went down behind the scenes and a receipt is warranted, if it happened backstage, take care of it backstage. If you can incorporate it into the show where everybody is safe and add to a storyline, okay, I get that. But when you do something on this level, and anybody who tries to defend any of this, and you're on the side of Jackson here, it's a good thing we're not on Riverside, because I would be firing off here. I'm trying to stay within our perimeters. You are 100% in the wrong. if you justify this, if you are an indie worker and you justify this, you are in the wrong. You were trained wrong. Your morals are wrong, and you need to get the hell out of the business if you find this crap to be okay. Thankfully, as far as Stewart is concerned, he's recovering. I mean, I doubt he's ever going to step foot in the ring again. I would be shocked if he did, but he is recovering. It looks like there's not going to be significant long-term damage in terms of his injuries.
Who knows how that affects his PTSD, though?
Right.
Exactly. That's
Right.
a whole
That guy's
other
life-
element of it.
His whole life could be completely different.
Completely. Over something stupid in the grand scheme of things.
And the thing with the can, too, I'd hate to sit here and keep going on this, but if you watch that video, he did the place your hand up before he does this. Raja's a trained MMA guy. Like, I don't understand. I almost thought it was a work at first because as trained in MMA, some guy goes like this, you're going to block. He just stood there.
Right.
He took it.
Like he knew it was coming. Like, clearly this, let me just throw my wedding ring around. But clearly it's not a work, and we know that this had real consequences. But man, like, it's hard for me to believe that, like I don't understand. Like, he had to know that something was coming.
My biggest problem with this was after the whole work can thing, they worked things out. It's on film. They shook
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was water under the bridge, and then you got this guy AJ. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
The dude in the cowboy hat talking him up. The thing that got me was if they had a spot planned or if they didn't, he waited for Stewart to have his back turned to him to enter the ring to double leg him. Now Stewart probably thought that was a work because he didn't try to fight to get out of the double leg. Mm-hmm. And then boom, it was over with. 20 punches to the face. Stu was choking on his own teeth and blood. You know, and Mark Henry's defending this.
Right.
I lost so much respect
I
for
was
Mark
just going to
Henry.
say the same thing. Actually, you know, as far as Mark Henry is concerned, he has come out in recent months with different controversies and stuff, and just his takeaway on a lot of things, it has been a progressive thing. I don't respect this guy at all at this point, and he just needs. It sucks that he's affiliated with Busted Open Radio because he has a worldwide platform to spew his crap.
Yep.
And I got to be honest with you, like I do download some of their podcasts and things of this nature. I'm not doing that anymore. I cannot support anybody, and I just, it blows my mind. Anybody can justify this crap. We do understand that there is a GoFundMe that is up right now to help pay the medical bills for Stewart's.
Well, if anything, there should definitely be some financial.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we have not heard the end of this because this is a full-blown investigation, and you got to believe Rajai Jackson is going to be spending some time behind bars, justifiably,
As he should.
as he should,
Yeah.
because you can't. This is just totally unacceptable on every level. Just on a basic, fundamental human level. Take the pro wrestling crap away off the table. We're looking at it from a human element, and you can't do stuff like
Nice
this
catch.
and just expect it to be okay, and you get a slap on the wrist. You're going to get slapped on the wrist, all right, but it's going to be by Big Bubba in the county.
If this never happened in a wrestling ring, he'd be in prison right now.
Absolutely he would.
Right.
Absolutely he would. And as far as Knox Pro Wrestling is concerned, I would be stunned if they were able to run shows, because it's not a good look when you've got Rikishi and you've got other people in their management team telling their workers do not cooperate with the authorities.
Yeah.
They could not be
Come to
handling
us
this.
first.
Yeah, you cannot be handling this any worse. In my opinion. So, our thoughts and prayers are certainly with Stuart Smith, and hope that he is able to recover. as close to a normal existence as you possibly can. But the PTSD, man, and like, God bless America. Brian brought up a great point. This is going to screw him up for the long haul, I feel like. And that's so unfortunate, especially for a guy who put his life on the line for our country, and then you deal with crap like this.
If you think about the AJ guy, with him pretty much hyping everything up, he just ruined 2 lives.
Yeah, absolutely he did. If you have an opinion, our phone lines are open, 810-277-3743. You by all means, you call in to the show if you have an opinion. Let's go ahead and switch gears right now. Also, last weekend, let's talk about a little bit more positive news. For All Elite Wrestling had their Forbidden Door pay-per-view last weekend at the historic O2 in London, England. Now, I have been very critical about the AEW brand. I have been very critical of Tony Khan and his booking practices. But look, I got to call it the way I see it. By all accounts, it looked like AEW knocked one out of the park in terms of their presentation with this Forbidden Door that also included New Japan. CMLL was represented in this. Attendance records were broken. They had the largest crowd at the O2 of any pro wrestling event, which eclipsed last year's Money in the Bank pay-per-view event. Shawn, you watched this show from top to bottom. Was there anything that stood out to you as far as these are the highlights of this show? Now, I did see Edge or Adam Copeland and Christian Cage were successful in their first tag team match back as a team, which I was glad to see because I always enjoyed that tag team. Hangman Page retains the AEW World Championship against MJF, which was a surprise. I thought MJF was going to be going over in this. Mercedes Moné, that's all I'm going to say about her. Any highlights as far as Forbidden Door?
Well, let me shock you. The Mercedes Moné match was awesome.
Was it?
It was. That was her, Alex Windsor, Persephone, and this girl named Bozilla. Bozilla's like 6 foot tall and athletic as all get out. Amazing match. Mercedes actually wasn't as annoying as she normally is, though she did come down to the ring with like the Royal Guard soldiers, with the big furry hats. Each soldier had one of her belts over their shoulder as they walked her down to the ring, and she came out with the TBS title. Great match. WWE really needs to look at this Bozilla girl. Absolutely amazing. Edge and Christian, or Cope and Christian, that's the number one reason why I watched this pay-per-view. But I got to tell you, Nigel McGuinness and Zack Sabre Jr.
You texted me and said that it was
amazing.
Yeah.
I thought the whole pay-per-view was great, and then the Death Riders came out, and I turned it off. Seriously, I can't stand Jon Moxley. I started seeing the highlights, and I do not regret turning that match. Him taking the screwdriver to Darby Allin's ear, pretty much ripping his ear apart. That's the stuff that I feel AEW's got to sway away from. But then there are those people who like that flavor of ice cream, and they want more of it. Mm-hmm. That's what turned me off of that pay-per-view. Very long pay-per-view. Here comes Jon Moxley. Okay, it's time for bed. But no, if you get the chance to get, especially Nigel McGuinness and Zack Sabre Jr., watch that match. That is a wrestling lesson 101 right there. Amazing.
Any of you two have an opinion on this? Did you see any of it?
I saw a couple little highlights, but I got next week off of work, so I'll probably watch it.
Okay.
All right, look at you.
I know.
I might.
Nobody likes a bragger.
Yeah, I know, right?
Except for the bragger.
I am going to check it out, though. Probably not the whole thing. I'm not going to watch the Death Riders thing. I don't want to see, what was it, a fork in the ear? A screwdriver. Yeah. No. Well, we've seen Randy do that with the with Jeff Hardy, but
Yeah.
with no blood. So, I mean, but
No, but Darby was like duct tape in a chair
Yeah.
and couldn't move, and
just torture, huh? Man.
it took a pay-per-view from like an 8 out of 10 down to a 6 for me. It really did.
Especially when it's 6 hours in, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an incredibly long show to be sitting down and watching. And you sit there and you see stuff like that. Like you said, there is a contingent of their fan base that thrives on that kind of match, I guess.
Violence.
But
Violence is a better word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. To me, there are promotions geared for that. I have said this time and time again. You know, if you're gonna present yourself as a family-oriented organization that they're trying to do, that is the last thing I would want my teenage kid to be watching. In my view.
Teenage, there was little kids in this crowd watching this.
Right.
Kind of like the whole Raja thing too. Going back to that from little kids. I'm sorry. I'm going to be dwelling on that.
Right, yeah, we're going to be dwelling on that
Yeah.
for a hot minute. But when you talk about AEW, you look at their roster, they've got some big name stars here, and among the biggest has also been a part of, I don't know if he's trolling people right now.
Yes, yeah.
But there is a lot of rumor and innuendo that Chris Jericho, one of the originals for AEW, may be on his way back to WWE. He has even gone so far as to like a bunch of posts from WWE as they themselves have uploaded clips of his returns over the years when he worked for the promotion, more specifically the Royal Rumble. And it has people speculating as his contract expires at the end of the year, could he in fact be on his way back to WWE, and will he be in Saudi Arabia for next year's Royal Rumble? Q, are we going to see the return of Y2J in WWE?
It's kind of hard to say with Y2J because he is a troller. He's a massive troller. But, I mean, there is nothing for him to do in AEW. He's as stale as an old bag of chips. I mean, there's nothing for him to do, man. I mean, God. He comes back to WWE, instantly you got, some programs you can actually put him in. You know, you got a lot of young talent that he can, help get over a little bit. And then he can, go into the Hall of Fame, the way he should.
That's
Bada
what I
bing,
feel
bada
like it's
boom.
going towards. And I feel like this is what is setting the table for that. He's going to be the headliner for the next Hall of Fame
think so.
class. Absolutely. He mentioned there's a lot of guys in WWE that he could work with, could probably have decent matches with at this stage in his career. When you look at the WWE roster right now, are there one or two dream matches that you would see Jericho?
Oh wow, what a good question that is.
That was immediately already in my head. I'm like, man, can we do a Mount Rushmore on that?
I mean, Jericho
Seth for me.
and Seth for you.
Ooh, yeah.
I would love to see Jericho and CM Punk go at it on the microphone. I mean, I
Ooh,
think
and
that
it's
would be
history.
with the whole AEW
Yeah.
and WWE. Plus, now Jericho's got a whole other roster to bring on his Jericho cruise. So now we could see AEW and WWE stars on the same cruise ship, which could be kind of cool. So
It would be.
Yeah.
the Steel Twins are probably going nuts right now.
Right there. It just happened right there. Do you see Jericho back in WWE, or is this just another one of his trolling the marks campaign?
Knowing him, it easily could be a troll, but man, I hope so. I would like to see it. But I don't want Y2J. I want Lionheart, Chris Jericho.
Even at this stage, do you think he could pull off
No,
Lionheart?
probably not. But that's what I didn't say that. I said that's what I want.
He tried it in AEW. He was going through multiple gimmicks in AEW. This last one was horrible. The hi guys, I hate
the
that
learning
one.
tree.
The learning tree I hated. But Jericho, I don't know. My favorite incarnation of Jericho, WCW with Ralphus.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably my favorite.
If we see him come in, do we see him immediately go and attack Kevin Owens?
Wouldn't that be
Well,
something?
oh, wow.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That'd be 2026.
Yeah.
That
Or Sweat 7 or whatever he comes back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Owens is going to be back sooner than people think. Even with the state of his injury and
I
his
hope so.
recovery.
Did you see his new post that he just put out? Don't worry, guys. I'm still fat.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah. Love that dude. So we're obviously going to be monitoring that situation to see what happens with Jericho. If you're Tony Khan, though, you got to believe he's a little bit nervous because, you know, he's got some mainstream stars,
Yeah.
a couple of them. Jericho is obviously one of those. This is a guy I feel like, in his mind, you can't lose him because he was one of the cornerstones when they launched AEW. Like, he was the one that brought AEW to the map. You know, it was like, oh my God, Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And he went on to, you know, how many times have we heard the first undisputed world champion? I beat The Rock. I beat Steve Austin in one night, blah, blah, blah. He has name recognition. He has a lot of equity with AEW. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm opening up Daddy's checkbook. What is it going to take for you not to go back to WWE, in my view?
Well, you know, I want to add this because Jericho is pretty much the reason why AEW got the TV deal
Yeah.
by putting the AEW title on him.
Yeah, but even in Toy Story, Andy got tired of Woody and Buzz.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why that's why I said he's stale in AEW. There's nothing. He went to Ring of Honor and tried to, you know,
Resurrect that.
resurrect
brand,
that, and you see they couldn't do it anymore.
No.
But he cared enough for the Buzz and Woody to find them a new home.
Well, Jericho's finding a new home.
Yeah, but it isn't Tony Khan finding him a new home.
Let him go, Tony.
You know, and it just goes to show. I mean, part of this is the booking practices of Tony Khan. You know, what would Triple H do with a repackaged Y2J? You know, what he could do so many things, and you know, there's some degree of mutual respect between these guys. They've had a long history in and out of the ring, so it's going to be interesting to see if he does indeed make his way back to WWE. I feel like in my opinion, it's inevitable because he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for WWE. He's done everything there. And if you're going to put him in the Hall of Fame, he is very deserving of being that class's headliner, in my view.
Tony's got enough toys in the toy box to replace Jericho.
Ellis Toy Barn.
That's true. He's got a lot of hurt toys too, though.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of
Hurts him to
injuries.
get toys.
All right. Also, another big announcement that took place this past week is the announcement of a brand new premium live event from WWE that had a lot of people talking because this has actually jump-started WWE's debut with ESPN. They're calling it WrestlePalooza, and it's going to go down on Saturday, September the 20th in Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, on the last episode of the Fatal 4-Way, we were on our platforms on Riverside. We talked about this, and it was announced upon the deal that it would not start until April, which made us all believe that WrestleMania 42 would be the debut of WWE on ESPN. Nope, they went ahead and jump-started that in a big, big way. Because if you look at the wrestling calendar for September 20th, you will also see that there is another pay-per-view event happening on that night. AEW will be in Toronto for their all-out pay-per-view event. So this is going to be the first time that WWE's main roster will go actually head-to-head with AEW on pay-per-view / premium live event. And they're pulling out all the stops. It is rumored, although it has not been confirmed by the organization yet, we will see the main event being John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. This is a calculated move by WWE, putting Cena and Lesnar at the top of this. Now, the other interesting part of this is College Game Day, which is ESPN's biggest weekly show, is going to be in Indiana. They are going to be on the campus of Indiana University. And who is co-host of that? One Pat McAfee. So this is a very strategic move by WWE and ESPN. At first I was like, why are you jump starting this? I'm not ready to pay the $29.95 that I'm going to have to fork out for ESPN to be able to watch the premium live events, but here we go with it. I'm okay with it. This tells me, Brian, we'll start with you. This tells me that ESPN is very committed to making this relationship with WWE exceed all expectations. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, how much did they pay? Like
$1.something billion.
Yeah, like they're gonna have to pull out all stops to try to get this to work. But man, I hope it works. I do not like the ESPN platform. I don't like their streaming service. Man, I don't want it to mess up wrestling for me.
Very true. And there was a lot of questions about this. Would everybody have to pay an additional $30 a month to just watch the pay-per-views? And our understanding is that is not the case. If you have your traditional cable systems, whether it be Xfinity or Spectrum, if you do have ESPN, they're going to show these events on their channels. But for me, I don't have cable, so I have to download or subscribe to their streaming service, which is apparently being overhauled. So you're not the only one that's had an issue with ESPN's platforms. But Shawn, we talked about this when we compared this to what the NFL is doing. The NFL, in order to watch Monday Night Football, you gotta be on one platform. If you want to watch Thursday Night Football, you gotta have Peacock. If you want
Amazon
this,
for Thursday.
You're doing all of this across multiple platforms. WWE is following suit. Is this a good move for them by debuting head-to-head with AEW?
Debuting head-to-head with AEW, in a way, yes. We talked about this. I think TKO is in a money hoarding process right now. I believe they got something on the other end, on the other side, that they're looking to do, looking to invest in. I don't know if they're looking to further libraries to create their own streaming services and own streaming platforms, but something is coming. Something big is coming. I think AEW, they're going to feel it, especially if the main event is Cena versus Lesnar. And in the words of a famous ESPN Ocho host, that's a bold move, Cotton.
Q, how do you feel about this? WrestlePalooza is going to go head-to-head with All Out, their debut on ESPN. This is kind of a good move on their part. Would you agree, or are they putting too much too soon?
I think the timing is actually right. I kind of see TKO looking at the Christmas tree and seeing that big box that say ESPN on it and saying, I want to open that early. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason for that, because AEW is gonna be hurting on All In with all the injuries, with Ospreay out, and we don't know what's going on with Omega, and Swerve is out. These are big stars. Now they got to go head-to-head with people like Brock Lesnar, who's making his first comeback in since 2023?
Yeah.
Man, and I was at the show where he had his last match.
Right.
Man, that's and then they're gonna add Cody. Congratulations, Cody, on the baby. They're gonna add Cody and McIntyre on that show. those two big main events right there. But man, having Lesnar back on ESPN, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and we are going to be breaking all of that down exclusively when we get closer to the September 20th date, because there's still a lot of road to get to Indianapolis for this event, and in turn, we're also going to see how is All Elite Wrestling going to combat that. They actually had the date first. They made that date first. So I don't know, man. If I don't think I would want to be hanging out around the offices in Jacksonville here with everything going on.
Crazy Tony.
It really, as if he wasn't already jacked up, right? With that, we are going to run a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to do our Mount Rushmore of the worst dressed wrestlers of all time, and we're going to preview Clash in Paris, that and more, when Fatal 4-Way returns in just a moment, live here on ONTV.
9, 8.
Are you or someone you know having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance abuse crisis? 988 connects you to compassionate, confidential support for free.
988.
988 is the new 3-digit dialing code for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. For years, the Lifeline, formerly known as the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, has answered tens of millions of calls and helped people overcome mental health-related distress. 988 is the same trusted resource. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and get you additional help if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone in crisis. Just call, text, or chat 988.
988.
Knowing how to identify signs of crisis in others and help connect them to resources like the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is an important way to prevent suicide and life-oriented. For information about free suicide prevention trainings offered in our community, please visit the North Oakland Community Coalition at noccmi.org.
988.
Have you ever thought of producing your own podcast? ONTV offers the facilities, equipment, and training to help you get your own podcast off the ground. Learn how to record your show and get it out to the world. Cost is $25 per person, which gives you access to ONTV's podcast room and equipment. For more information, give ONTV a call at 248-393-1060 or visit orionontv.org today.
Welcome back to the Fatal 4-Way live on ONTV. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here tonight. And with that, Brian, let's turn it over to you, my friend, with this week's Mount Rushmore.
WWE's in Paris, so we're thinking Fashion Week. So we there you go. So why go for the best fashion when we could pick the worst fashion?
Boy, you nailed it there.
I mean, right there, I feel like, how do you do better than that? But I mean, I know your guys, some of your guys' picks, and they are right there on the same level. So, little known guy, Arachna, right there on all the way to the left,
Arachna
kind of their knockoff on a Spider-Man gimmick that they had for a bit. Next to that, Max Moon, better known as Conan. Yeah. Pretty deadly. Anytime you got a shirt that's showing you from the nipples down, I think you take a chance of being on the worst dressed list. And man, too cool. Speaking of Rikishi,
Yeah.
I'll complete that one.
man, that looks like it's from, what was that movie? Where was it Jamie Kennedy?
Oh,
Come on.
oh, gosh, right there.
That's what I think of every time I see that one.
Malibu.
Malibu Most Wanted. There you go.
Yeah, that's yeah, you nailed it. I mean, in terms, I'll tell you though, I appreciated Arachnaman in WCW at that time in the
I thought
early
you were going to say
'90s.
Max Moon, and I'm like,
No, Max Moon was the drizzling dog doo. I didn't care for him at all. But
wasn't there a cannon involved with that
Yeah,
outfit
man.
too, I thought too.
Yeah.
Mega Man arms. That's why I liked them when I was a kid.
No, you
man.
nailed it. And I was never a fan of Too Cool. I didn't.
Sharon's
not
gonna
like
have
it.
words with you.
That's fine.
It's the bucket cap with the top cut out and the hair through. That is just like, who had that idea?
Scotty Too Hottie, apparently. All right, Shawn, let's pull up your Mount Rushmore.
Okay, I'm gonna get some heat for this one.
Yeah, you are, because I'm PO'd right out of the gate here.
Yep. Well, let's start from the bottom.
From the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, I hated the Legion of Doom 2000. I believe that was Heidenreich and Animal. Sonny, she could wear anything she wants, but Heidenreich and Animal.
It's hard when you see that one up front.
Farouk Assad. What they did to Ron Simmons was absolutely horrible.
That helmet
Yeah, that was messed
ridiculous.
up.
Yep. And then the fake Diesel and Razor. Okay.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take the originals and put, the Temu versions of them in their
It
clothes.
was
and,
very cringy.
yeah.
Before Timo.
And then the one I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from is The Fiend, more specifically The Burnt Fiend. Number one, I've never been into face paint, I'm okay with, but trick-or-treat and Halloween costumes I've never been a fan of when it comes to professional wrestling. Even Bray Wyatt himself in his documentary said he hated this outfit here. It's no secret I wasn't a fan of The Fiend at all, but I didn't like it.
I loved The Fiend. I of all the incarnations, I was not a fan of the burnt version of him. But execution-wise, was pretty spot on.
Yeah, execution,
I
fine,
was-
but the look.
I was telling Q, like, the Fiend came up because I did not like the apparel. I liked the Fiend as a gimmick, and I like the Fiend, but man, like those carnival pants that he wore, like I was not a fan of that. And the mask, like it just looked like it made it hard to believe he had to wrestle in that mask.
Yeah. I had a problem when he won the Universal title. I wanted Bray Wyatt to be a world champion.
Same, yeah.
But the Fiend as Universal champion, I had a real hard time buying into it, although the belt was pretty awesome that they had for him.
I didn't like the belt.
I hated the belt.
I thought it was different. I mean, I didn't put it up there on the same level as like the Smoking Skull belt or...
I put it on the level of the Butterfly Diva belt.
Oh, no. I liked it better than the Spinner belt.
Yeah, you might be right there.
Yeah, got me there.
All right.
Farouk looks like an extra from the Running Man movie.
Yeah, he does. All right, Q.
All right.
Speaking of Rikishi.
Wow.
You may have taken
when I look at my list, man, I just feel like there's a hygiene problem, man. It's just
I would not be in that locker room for sure.
no way. I never liked the thong. A big man like that wearing a thong in the
I'm
ring.
not a fan of any man in a thong, but
No, yeah, Rikishi, and then it became a weapon. You know, it was disgusting. I was not a big Rikishi fan anyway. Bastion
Yeet.
Booger, Yeet, yeah. Oh, his sons are great. Yeah, Bastion Booger, man,
that's the he
Remember the
might
hump
be
on his back?
he might be. It's the
all time, man.
the
This is
wings.
Yeah.
Arms that get
Yeah.
It's like how tight is that costume?
like freaking Goro over here.
Poor Mike Shaw, though, he didn't have a gimmick where he had good clothes. He was Norman the Lunatic.
Yeah.
Then he was Friar Ferguson.
Friar Ferguson,
Yeah,
yeah.
never really had a great gimmick.
And you know what? Looking at Bastion Booger, I actually thought about Big Daddy V when they put him in those straps and he started hanging, pouring out from the side and stuff.
Even if you looked at that outfit, if it was a different color, it would have been better. If like that was black, it wouldn't be great, but it would be better than that off gray, dingy looking color.
All right, and it's cutting into his boobs, man, like it hurt.
Like what would you call that shape he is? That's not pear shaped anymore.
No, he's a figure eight. Now, go over to Mantar. Yes, irritated me every time. That was his theme music. Was just, oh my God, I hate it. And it took so long to get to the ring.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't see.
I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
It looked like such a happy bull, though.
Yeah, it's not even a good design on the bull. Like, who's gonna be afraid of that?
It's bull, all right.
Yeah. He's like he's going to a kid's party or something. And then, oh my God. And then Gold Dust. The artist formerly known as Gold Dust.
I don't remember that gimmick like that.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the worst. And he started wearing like diapers and stuff. And I think it was during his drug period of his life.
I had
that's a
all
surprise.
kinds of options to go with
He
for
looks like
this
a
one.
submissive Ronald McDonald.
There was a lot. That's just one costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Every
was-
week he wore
That was
something
one of
just
the
outlandish stuff, man. And he's more covered up here, but he had some revealing, crazy stuff. Him and Luna together,
Yep.
it was awful, man.
I was trying to make it TV appropriate.
I think Cody
Yeah, I'm
should
glad you
bring
did.
that back.
You said
I
what?
said Cody should bring that back.
No,
Nah, I don't want to see nobody bring that
no,
back.
that's
The artist formerly known as the American Nightmare? No. No.
all right.
Terrible.
And then for mine, Giant Gonzalez. The fur, the bodysuit was just like Elegante when he was in WCW looked bad. And then you bring him over to WWE to feud with The Undertaker, and you're going to put him in this monstrosity. That's all. I mean, enough said about that.
Terrible.
The Portuguese man of war, Aldo Montoya, wore a jockstrap on his face, as you can see there. Then you took an imposing badass like the One Man Gang and turned him into Akeem and put like, I don't know what you would call this, but it took everything away from me. And even at this time, anytime anybody mentions One Man Gang, I no longer look at him as One Man Gang because this gimmick ruined him. And then you mentioned Viscera earlier. Before he was Viscera, he was Mabel of Men on a Mission, wearing satin pajamas, and he just looked like absolute garbage.
That dude loved purple.
You didn't like that version of him. You didn't like the Leather Daddy version of him. I hated that version of him when he was in with the Ministry, and he had like the color contacts.
Yeah.
Looked like a big fat piranha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every version.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
wasted time and space, unfortunately. Hate to speak ill of the dead, but I mean, that's what it was. They could not do anything with this guy. All right, as we close out this week's show, let's do this Sunday live on, I guess it's going to be the last premium live event on Peacock for WWE as they make the transition over to ESPN. They are in Paris, France for Clash in Paris, and with that, they also had SmackDown earlier this afternoon. Quick spoiler, and if you don't want to hear this, if you haven't watched SmackDown, then plug your ears. We do understand that Sami Zayn has won the WWE United States title from Solo Sikoa, and because of other things that went on during that episode, a new match has been added to Clash in Paris. We will see the Wyatt Six will defend the WWE Tag Team Championship against the Street Profits. But let's talk real quick about the matches that have been announced. Seth Rollins will defend the World Heavyweight Championship in it's a fatal four-way match against CM Punk. Main event, Jey Uso and LA Knight. Let's go around the horn real quick. Q, who do you see walking out with the title?
This is more predictable. It's going to be Seth Rollins, and he's going to pin Jey Uso. Bada bing, bada boom, yeet.
Okay. Sean?
Picture makes him look like an overage boy band, doesn't it? I'm going with Seth, though, and I believe he's pinning LA Knight.
Okay. Brian?
I'm exactly the same as you.
Yeah.
Seth pinning LA Knight. I think like I said, I want to see this LA Knight heel turn. Let's just fucking grind. Ooh. Let's grind him into the ground.
Freaking Rollins.
That's what I meant. Freaking.
End of the show, though.
Seth Rollins. he's the right guy at the right time to hold the title, especially as they're trying to build the vision as a reputable force on Monday Night Raw. I can make an argument for CM Punk. I can make an argument for Jey Uso. Stop. But it's LA Knight that he's the one I want to win, because the other three have had multiple chances to be in the main event, to be world champion. I have been on the LA Knight fan train for a long, long time, and I've said on this very program, I'm worried that this window of opportunity with him is closing. He keeps getting these main events, these big time matches. At some point, I feel like they're going to throw him a bone and give him an opportunity. Does it happen on Sunday? Probably not. But he is going to be my pick to win. And I know I'm going to lose on this one. I know that. But for shock value, I'm going with LA Knight here. Yeah. So with that, let's switch to the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. When Nikki Bella will be challenging the man Becky Lynch. Another one of these matches I kind of feel like are just kind of thrown out there. I don't know why they're necessarily incorporating Nikki Bella into a major storyline at this point. But be that as it may, we've got Becky, we've got Nikki Bella. Q.
Another predictable one for me. Becky Lynch is beating Nikki. I mean, if she's going to drop the title, she needs to drop the title to somebody that's on the upcoming, not to Nikki Bella. We don't need to see that.
We've seen the Intercontinental title be used to elevate new stars for both men. Well, I guess primarily for the men, because the women's version is relatively new. But we've also seen that title used to reinvigorate an established star. Does Nikki Bella have a chance here?
Well, they call the Intercontinental title the workhorse title. And I want to see Nikki Bella go over. And that's for one reason and one reason only. If you saw the vignette with Bayley going crazy, I want to see Bayley just tear her apart. And I want Bayley to wind up with the Intercontinental title.
He brings up a good point. We haven't seen Bayley on TV other than these vignettes. Does she come back to cost Becky Lynch the title?
No, but I think that when we see Becky drop the title, I think it might be to this new multi-personality Bayley, which that's what I'm kind of hoping they go with. I think we're going to hear Bayley's music, and it may be heel Bayley one day, and it may be face Bayley the next day. I would like to see her constantly switching, and you don't know what Bayley you're going to get at any moment.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
It'd be the coolest thing that I feel like you could do with her at this moment.
Or
Are you going to get a hug? Or
she might just come out to Randy Orton's
think of the great work she could do with Michael Cole.
Yeah.
1 minute she's friendly with Michael Cole, and then she's back to making fun of him.
Yep.
How would Michael Cole respond to that?
Right. Because they have a history.
They do. It's funny.
It really is. It's
So
very
who goes
entertaining.
over?
Oh, it's Becky. Like I said, Becky will hold it until she loses it to Schizo Bayley.
Yeah, I feel like that's a foregone conclusion. But again, it would be cool to see them do something with Nikki Bella, if she was to drop it on Monday or something like that.
Be a transitional champion.
Yeah. For sure. We're also going to see an old school Donnybrook, no holds barred in this. This is theoretically the culmination of a long rivalry between Sheamus and Rusev. These two have, they've just, when you see this match, these guys are laying it in. Yeah. They are really beating the tar out of one another in a very respectful way, not like what we talked about earlier in the program. I'm going to reverse things here. Brian, we'll start with you. Who needs the win more here?
Rusev needs it more. I don't think he gets it.
No?
No, I think it's going to be Sheamus. I think we're going to see these guys get back together as a team. And that doesn't happen in any way I can see with Rusev winning. But with Sheamus winning and then offering the hand, helping him up or whatever, I think we could see them back together. Rusev needs this win, though. Like he came back and seemed like he had some steam, and then it faded real quick. Doesn't seem like anybody cares.
Well, when you're putting them against the Alpha Academy and things like it's time to elevate him to either the United States title picture, the Intercontinental title picture. You got to do something with them. Shawn, where you at with Sheamus and Rusev?
It's funny that Brian said that it seems like no one cares because I don't care. Really, it's funny though too that you also mentioned them as a team because I was just looking it up. I'd really like to see Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland jump these two. Get these two back together, kickstart a feud, give them something good to go off of, and go after the tag team titles.
They would really add to the tag team division, which is kind of lacking again here in WWE. Q, where you at here? Sheamus or Rusev?
I agree with both of y'all pretty much. I'm gonna say Sheamus too, even though Rusev does need it. But if they hook back up, that'll be what Rusev really needs. Some help from Sheamus.
Like I said, I feel like they have not done a great job in the way they have booked Rusev. He needs this win to take him up the ladder because he's got all the talent in the world. You know what I mean? Sheamus has low key become a legend. He really has. He's been there a hot minute, and he's done it all. And I'm a big fan of this guy. So I am looking forward to this match. I think they're going to be pulling out something new out of this. Yeah. So I am going with Rusev on this. I know. Another match that has been announced. Roman Reigns is going to be returning to PLE action when he goes one-on-one with Big Bronson Reed. The Shula Fala.
I love that, man.
The tribal thief.
Yeah. Real quick, where are we going with this?
Man, I love Bronson Reed for that, but he's losing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Roman. It's gonna be clean cut, but I think Bronson's gonna have a good showing.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to see.
He has to. This is elevating him to main event status against one of the biggest names in WWE. Shawn,
acknowledging the tribal chief. He's going over.
Brian?
He's definitely going to win. I really hope Bronson has a show. Man, I hope they don't. If he hits the tsunami, I hope that Roman doesn't kick out of it because currently, no one has, and I want to keep that going.
Right. They have really set the table well for Bronson Reed, and this is as big of a vote of confidence as he's going to get right now against one of the biggest names in the last quarter century in WWE in Roman Reigns. And then that brings us to what we understand is going to be the main event, the match that's going to close out Clash in Paris. John Cena is going to go one-on-one with Logan Paul. Personally, I think they're doing this match way too soon. I think they should have waited for Saturday night's main event in December, which is Cena's last match. But they're going to do it here in Paris. Cena or Logan Paul, Q?
Cena.
Really?
Yeah, I'll say Cena, and then we might see an appearance from Brock after the match.
The person I thought you were going to say.
Shawn?
Cena by DQ.
Wow, okay. We haven't seen a DQ finish in the main event in quite some time.
Yep.
So that would be different. Yeah. Yeah, Brock Lesnar is probably going to be somewhere or another a factor in the outcome of this match. Brian?
Cena, I think we might see an appearance by Drew.
Oh,
yeah, he is in there.
Because I think that's going to be the final match.
Oh.
I think so, too.
Drew McIntyre and Cena?
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
I would totally be okay with that. We're also going to be okay with the fact that we're going to be back here in 2 weeks' time live on ONTV. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here. And you can stay tuned to all of our socials for all the latest news and information on this show and all of our great shows on the PFC Entertainment Network. With that, go out, be awesome to yourselves and to each other. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. These guys. 2 weeks' time, right here on the Fatal 4-Way, as a part of the PFC Entertainment Network and exclusively on ONTV.
putting the F.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.